Okay, so we're filling the system here finally. So this is my setup. This is what I came up with. I'm using a tote, 30 gallon I think it is, or whatever. I put a 5 gallon bucket of Cryotech 100 in there, which is the glycol that I'm using, and I dilute that down with 2 gallons of distilled water. So for every 5 gallons of glycol, 2 gallons of distilled water. That gives me a mixture of about, it's supposed to be pretty close to 40% glycol, 60% water. The Cryotech 100 comes already diluted. It's already 55% glycol, I think. So I did all the math, diluted it down a little bit more because I don't need quite that deep of protection here. And what I'm doing is every time I add anything to the tote, whether it's water or 5 gallon bucket, it's always at the same time. So I add a 5 gallon bucket and 2 gallons of distilled water. And so I did that initially. I primed my pump with glycol from the bucket and brought it up into the supply, and then it runs out through the loop and comes back through the return and into the bucket, and I let that run and run, and I'll fire it up here and show you, but you can still see the air coming out of it. Little bubbles, but there's still air in there, and I let it run for a good 3 or 4 minutes, so it might take a little bit on all these loops to get the air out. But anyway, I think you're supposed to start at the furthest away and work your way back. I started at the beginning, so you know, I don't know. I think what I'll maybe do next is move down to this loop and work my way backwards, so that way the air in the manifold is out. And you'll see when I fire this up, so I bought one of these router speed controls at Harbor Freight, and it works great on this pump, so I can slow it down if I want, but I can also just click it on full and it'll purge it. So I zip tied my hoses to some clamps that are on the side of the tote so that it doesn't blow a hose out. I also zip tied them together in the bottom of the bucket so that the supply sucks from one end and blows the bubbles out the other, and it makes a pretty good little turbulent circle in there. So it's good. It's mixing well. So I think before I do the next loop, I want to add another couple gallons of water and another 5 gallon bucket of glycol, just to get that level up so that I don't run the risk of sucking enough down to hit that hose. But so far so good. I did one of the scariest loops, I would say, first, which is, these are all on our second floor. I installed hardwood after these were in. I mean, I was very careful, used the proper length nails and everything, but you never know. I mean, and it's held air, so I don't think there's anything in it, but so far one of those is done, and I ran up there, I listened, I looked, I don't hear anything, I don't see any glycol shooting out of the ceiling on the floor below or anything, so I'm pretty confident I'm good. But it is pretty neat to see this fill up with glycol. So yeah, I might fire the camera up here while it's going. It's a little noisy with that pump running, but it is working. So I'm just gonna keep this one's full now, and just gonna keep going, and we'll see what happens if I can get that one done. Unfortunately, this other manifold that I bought this was the first one I ever bought. It's garbage. The hose fittings in the bottom here, for some reason, won't take. They'll take a hose thread for a little ways and then they bottom out. I don't know if they're threaded wrong or what. They're definitely not NPT. They're 3/4 inch male hose thread, but they won't take a hose. So unfortunately, I think the way I'm going to have to purge that manifold is by doing the whole thing. So I'll probably have to come over here to this purge station here and hook my fill up here maybe, and shut the valve off there so that it's got to go around, or maybe I fill there and pull it out here so that it's basically filling in the return. No, filling in the supply. I have to fill in the supply, otherwise the chuck valves will go the wrong way. So when I do that, I also have to apply power to this to open these three-way valves. So yeah, I think unfortunately the only way I can purge that manifold is going to be to purge the whole thing, which is going to need to be done anyway. But what I'm going to do when I go to do these other ones is just hook a hose up from here to here and close all the loops and just let it circulate that zone. So, but this one, it's all going to have to get done at once. So it is what it is. But anyway, I'm going to keep going here. This is obviously shut off here, so I'm only playing with this right now, none of the rest of the system, but we'll get there. I don't know if I'll have time to do it all tonight. If not, I'll just throw the lid over that so nothing falls in there, and we'll work on it some more tomorrow. But I'm hoping here, give it a couple nights, if not definitely by Saturday, to have this on and melting the driveway. So I'll keep you posted. I'll probably turn the camera on here shortly and show you what's going on. Alright, so I got the pump on. I got it turned down a little bit right now because it's purging this first loop right now. This one's shut off. This one's shut off. So it's getting all that original air out, and when it's on full, it's really bubbling and splashing. And so I'm going to let it get the majority out, and then I'll crank it up on full to get the rest out. I added one more 5-gallon bucket and 2 more gallons of distilled water. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Looks like it got most of it out. We'll turn it up a little bit more. Okay, that's full. This is wide open. All the rest of these are closed. Now I can close this and that'll shut right off. I don't want to do that though. Although I did notice it does get some more air out of the sight glass here. See that? It's probably about where we want it. Before it was only here, I think there's air in it. So if you look, this is air that's rising up. You probably can't see it because I added another bucket and everything here, but before, when it was lower, you can actually see the steady stream of air. Real little bubbles, but you could just see it coming out, and they rise up to the top here and just bleed off. So right here, these bubbles that are appearing, that's all air coming out of that loop. So next we'll do this, then we'll do this, this. I should have enough glycol and mixture in there now to do the rest of this manifold. I think if I calculated right, each of these manifolds should only take like 1.5 gallons per loop. So I have, what, 10, 14 gallons in there now? Should be 9. So as long as I keep the bucket full there. But yeah, this is pretty much it. You just wait and let it run until most of that air's out of there, and I'll move on to the next loop. I might pause it and then run upstairs and just make sure everything seems okay. It's probably just me being paranoid, having never filled this, but if there's water coming out of a light fixture or something, I want to try and drain it quickly. even though by that point the damage is probably done. But I think we're going to be okay. Really, I'm out of the woods with these four. This is the bathroom, second floor bathroom floors. The master bedroom, the other half of the master bedroom we already did, and this is the shower walls. These two are my kitchen loops down here, which run throughout the basement. So if one of those is leaking, you know, yeah, it would be bad, but it's not the end of the world. It's not going to damage drywall and everything else. But fingers crossed, I think we're going to be okay here. Still got a little bit of air coming out of there. You guys can see that stream down in there if you look right at the end of that hose, it almost looks like a line coming out of the end of that hose, and that's the air. Alright, I'm sure you guys don't want to stand here and watch this, so I'll shut this off. I'm going to let this run for a little bit more. Probably run upstairs and just check things. And maybe I'll bring you back when I'm doing the next one. And then eventually, I think at the very end, what I might do, I don't know if this pump has enough. I mean, it's a good pump. It's a 1/2 horsepower pump, but I don't know if it has enough guts to do all of them. I could open everything up and let it move maybe a little bit through everything to get everything out of these manifolds. But these are also air bleeders here, and these are open, so if there was air in here, it should be releasing. If I open this, just out of curiosity. This one's already charged, technically. I'm probably going to do it again. Yeah, so it still has some air in it there. Let's try opening this. Yeah, it's not open. I must have cranked down pretty hard on that thing. Alright, I'll bring you guys back. Okay guys, so far so good. I've got 4 out of the 6 full. And I noticed there's still some air coming out. You can barely see it. Little bubbles right there that just come out. But early on when I was filling this one, I was getting a ton of air, even though it was running for a long time. And I think what it was the air in the manifold. And as we're purging, that air is gone, and it's actually much quicker now to do these loops. I mean, within a minute, I can almost see very, very little bubbles. So I do have 2 more to go. I'm probably going to shut it off and add another 5-gallon bucket and 2 gallons of water. I just don't want to run the risk of sucking it dry, and I'm probably about an inch away there, which is interesting. I'll have to redo them. Hopefully I calculated. I mean, I did all the math based on 1/2 inch per 100 feet, and I know these lengths, so I I thought I would have enough antifreeze, but man, I've gone through, well, I haven't gone through it, but I've put 2 5-gallon buckets and 4 gallons of water in here so far and drinking it up. So the master bathroom, the master bedroom, and the furthest kitchen zone is good. I have this zone right here, which is this kitchen zone. These don't have glycol in them yet, and then I have those master shower walls. So I have not been upstairs. I'm hoping everything's okay up there. I probably should run up there and check, but pump's doing fine. That's a good pump. That's a Wayne PC4. It's not super loud. It's not as loud as I thought it was going to be. It just kind of does its thing. So what I've also been doing is, like after that one loop gets all the air out, which I believe it's pretty much out now, I've been opening up some of the other ones too and letting them purge. See, I just heard a little bit of air. Yeah, we're getting more bubbles coming out of there. So, and that's a loop I already did. So I don't know if those bubbles are coming out of the manifold still, but I've just slowly been going back and just, you know, so right now that pump is pushing both these zones. I don't see a lot more coming out of there. I'll go ahead and open up the third one as well here. I should open the supply first. It seems to be, and I just heard a bunch more air. Oh yeah. That could just be the bucket though, because it's getting low. But it's pumping all 3 of these right now. Yeah, I definitely want to add some more there. So what I'll do is go ahead and close off the supply first, or the return first. That puts pressure on the loop. And then I'll close off the supply. So now that zone stays charged. I'll do the next here. Close that off. I'm getting a little bit of air back out of the bucket now. Alright, go ahead and start to charge this one. You can hear the pump. Go ahead and stop all that. Shut the pump off. Add some more glycol and water. So far so good. I keep hearing this little like noise like water, and it's the dishwasher. It's right above me. You know, we're running the dishwasher right now, but I'm looking up there, but these aren't full yet. So I believe in my basement here that kitchen loop starts here. Yes, these are full. Missed the nails there, huh? Did that on purpose. Oh yeah, I gotta get a bracket. I gotta get something in there. You see how that's hanging? It's full. I remember when well, that one's pulled out. I remember when I pulled that out, because I added a doorstop to the bathroom that came down through the floor, and I didn't want to hit it, so I just need to tack that back up there. But that's definitely full. And then the other thing I was concerned about was over here. These run down underneath the stairs here, so this is full. And this is my side entryway on my house, and it's concrete, and that was poured like 10 years ago, 2011. Actually, I think it was 2010. So I used shark bites there because I couldn't really get a crimp tool up in there to crimp those down. So I was worried, you know, am I going to blow a shark bite fitting off of something? But they're holding, you know, I see people use them all the time and they're fine. So I might put a 2x4 in here just to kind of hold these. But this is full, and they're holding just fine. I ran over here and checked it. So yeah, I probably won't insulate this because this basement also has radiant in it, which should help keep this entryway nice and dry. I might put some insulation underneath here just to keep these stairs warm. But again, you know, if it's insulated right, or if it's radiant heat right below it, I mean, I think it's only going to help it. So okay, I'm gonna go get another bucket and some more water and fill that thing up and try and get these last 2 loops done, and that might be all for tonight. I mean, it's a weeknight, and I don't know if I want to get into another zone manifold tonight. Maybe I can do another one tomorrow night, and by the end of the week here on Saturday I can fire this thing up and play with it. So thanks for watching. Thought I would show you guys this. You can actually see some of the air as it goes by. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm just waiting for most of the air to come out, and I'll kick it back up to high so it doesn't splash out, make a mess. Added another 5-gallon bucket. There we go. I'm gonna kick it over. I'll slowly ramp it up here. Heard some there. Wide open. Yeah, see the air? I'll kick it up to full. Oh yeah, it's full now. I don't see any leaks or anything. Oh yeah, we're full. The real test will probably be once we start putting heat through it and they start really expanding and moving around. Oh yeah, we're good there. Okay. We'll open up all the rest of these. Go ahead and open these up. It's odd, we're not getting anything through there. Isn't that weird? What am I? Is it open enough? That's wide open. Should be getting, there we go. Maybe the pump just doesn't have enough to do it all. It's wide open too. Just be air. Okay, so these four right now are wide open. Alright, so I'll have to go ahead and be right there. Alright, let's go ahead and close these off. I don't see any more air coming out of there, but let's go ahead and open up this last zone. So we'll open this up first. Oh yeah, I hear air there. This is the last one, so we'll get all that air out. This one I want to make sure I hit really good because the loops are vertical in the shower walls, so be a little bit harder to purge because if any air sits at the top of those loops, it's okay. That looks pretty good. We'll turn it up. Wide open. Everything else is off. Okay, let this run and then Open this one up a little bit again. Should be pretty good here. Shouldn't be much air left in this manifold, although we just got some out there. Purging these 3 right now. Go ahead and shut these down for right now. It's interesting that these lose their glycol. Maybe just because there's no pressure on it, they need pressure. But okay, I'm pretty confident those are full. I might come back down. I'm gonna go put the kids to bed, and then I might come back down and run it a little bit longer. And I just want to check everything upstairs, make sure nothing's leaking anywhere. But I would say that was a success for a couple hours tonight. Next will be the Snowmelt, probably tomorrow night. Maybe I can get one more manifold done with that. And I did check this with the refractometer too that I bought, and it showed about 41% glycol, 40%. So the refractometer showed, I think, -5 or something, but there's actually big stickers on the lids of these that show that you have to adjust for that. So refractometer reading compensation adjustment. So if your refractometer is reading like -6, really it's good down to -15, pumpable to -26, burst to -60, and I think that's what I came up with when I ran the numbers. But it's what we've gone through so far: 3 5-gallon buckets and 6 gallons of distilled water. So far so good. I would call this a success. Okay guys, so last video of the night. I believe this manifold is full. So I came back down, fired the pump back up on full, and I slowly opened up every single zone, and then I let it run for a good 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes. Then I restricted each zone down, or I shouldn't say I started to restrict it down to like 0.8 gallons a minute on everything, just to give it a little bit more pressure, I guess. I could hear a little bit more air coming out. Let it run on there for another 5 minutes, and then I slowly, starting from furthest away, closed off the return, the supply, return, supply, return, supply. Got all the way down to here. Then I closed off the return and the supply and shut the pump off. And so this should be charged. I don't know how much pressure's on it because I don't have a pressure gauge, but you know, I'm sure this pump is capable of, I don't know, 30 pounds maybe. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it like this overnight, see what it looks like in the morning, and if all goes well, tomorrow night I'm gonna do that zone. So it's probably good. I noticed that pump is starting to get warm. You know, it's not like so hot you can't touch it, but it's getting a little hot. So maybe I shouldn't have this towel underneath it. I don't know if that's blocking any air vents. It doesn't seem like it, but the pump part's cool. The motor's hot. So probably good that I break this up, let the motor cool down for tonight. You know, maybe tomorrow night I do that zone, that manifold. Let the motor cool down. The next night I do the other one. So today's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe Friday night I hit that, and then Saturday morning we do the final purge and fire it up, if that all goes according to plan. So yeah, I think I'm good for tonight. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow. We're doing that one.